listen, you need to understand that the situation we're in, you guys are the UN, you're here to protect the Lebanese citizens. When you guys broke that rule and broke our respect and our trust, the only thing you should expect is the way that we're reacting towards the situation.
Okay, but you are not the UN Security Council.
It doesn't matter.
You are not the one who dictates.
It's void. Israel's bombing us every day. No one's talking to Israel about killing my people, my family, and my friends. Why does Israel not have a law or a council to tell them what to do?
Okay, do you want me to pick up the bombs for you, or
but
what do
you
you want
guys are
me to do?
peacemakers, no? What is your job here in Lebanon? Huh?
It is to monitor the
yes,
cessation of hostilities.
Monitor private property and tell the Zionist entity what we are doing on our land. Correct or not correct?
No, not correct.
Yes, you are in denial. You work for the Zionists.
From 2006. We don't agree on
Okay, we also welcome Antea, so coming here like
هيدا من 2006.
It's the same mandate that has been from since
من 2006 الورق.
that's changed, so I'm sorry about that.
Hey everybody, this is Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV. We are in the south of Lebanon between the Abbasiyya and Dir Qanun al-Nahr. This is an area that's very famous for its groves, both citruses and olives. Before we continue with this report, I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate so we can continue bringing you this content. As you can see behind me, there's a wildfire starting in the bushes around the orchards. And this is the summer fire season in the coastal area of the East Mediterranean. But there's two things that we need to note here. One is the firefighters and civil defense in Lebanon, how much pressure they're under, not because of the regular firefighting that happens every year around this summer season, but because of the overstretching of their capabilities, because they have to put constant fires that the Zionists are starting by their attacks on Lebanon as a whole. And the fact that not only the fires are being started because of those attacks, but that the actual attacks are also targeting the civil defense units, the firefighters' trucks, the ambulances. All of that is overstretched. Now, as we're driving down, we saw multiple fire trucks that are starting to fight this. And inshallah, they will be able to put out this fire. But we also want to note what is happening in Syria's coast today and over the last 10 days. The Wahhabi death squads in Syria, al-Qaeda, ISIS, HTS, whatever you want to call them, that are governing the country, have deliberately started fires in the northern Latakia region, in the forests that are the oldest forests in Syria, and a natural protected reserve. The reason they started these fires is because they want to chase out the inhabitants of the area, the Alawi and Shia and Christian inhabitants of the area. Number one, to clear it for their colonists that are coming from Central Asia, from Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan and what have you, as well as what they fear is the hiding of weapons in those forests by the local residents that are fearing massacres and want to protect themselves. So those two reasons are why these Wahhabi death squads in Syria have started those fires. And we've seen a few of the propaganda videos that came out from the quote-unquote white helmets staging themselves as if they are putting out the fires. But what we know from the locals in North Syria, in the coast of Syria, is that those quote-unquote white helmets are actually not putting out the fires. The local inhabitants of those villages are trying to fight those fires, and whenever they are caught trying to put out the fires, they are targeted themselves by HTS authorities. There's a lot that we can cover in Lebanon. We'll be reporting in the next few hours about other things, and we will see how the day develops, because as we know, the Zionist enemy, their lust for blood is never ending. We stayed with the firefighters until they put out the fire almost completely. There was a lot of smoke, so our clothes smelled like a fire. I had to change my shirt. We are heading right now to Aytit village. There was multiple violations by the UNIFIL in the village, and some of the villagers confronted them. We will get there and we'll talk to the villagers to see about the story.
Listen, you need to understand that the situation we're in, you guys are the UN, you're here to protect the Lebanese citizens. When you guys broke that rule and broke our respect and our trust, the only thing you should expect is the way that we're reacting towards the situation.
Okay, but you are not the UN Security Council.
It doesn't matter.
You are not the one who dictates.
It's void. Israel's bombing us every day. No one's talking to Israel about killing my people, my family, and my friends. Why does Israel not have a law or a council to tell them what to do?
Okay, do you want me to pick up the bombs for you, or
But
what do
you
you
guys
want
are
me to do?
peacemakers, no? What is your job here in Lebanon? Huh?
It is to monitor the
Yes,
cessation of
monitor
hostilities.
private property and tell the Zionist entity what we are doing on our land. Correct or not correct?
No, not correct.
Yes, you are in denial. You work for the
From
Zionists.
2006.
We don't agree on Okay, we also
Berlin.
welcome Antea, so coming here like
هيدا من 2006.
It's the same mandate that has been since
من 2006 الورقة.
That's changed. I'm sorry about that.
We've reached the village of Aytit in South Lebanon. This village has suffered attacks like every other village in the south of Lebanon, but also it has been the scene of multiple violations of private property by the UNIFIL, the United Nations supposed peace force in the south of Lebanon. And we're here to meet with Noura Daqa, who has now become famous in Lebanon because of her courage, standing in the way of the UNIFIL that were trying to violate private properties in the region here. Noura, thank you very much for having us today. You're American.
I'm Lebanese before I'm American.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Yes.
You are American-Lebanese. Okay, so the Lebanese is the first before the American. And you spent your time mostly out of the country during the war.
Yes, that's correct.
Before we talk about the UNIFIL, I would like to get your impressions when you were out there, how your feelings about your family that was here. How did you deal with that reality of having a family in a war zone?
I mean, everyone would expect it's very complicated. There were many times where it was dissociating from reality, because it's hard to just look at the screen and not be able to do anything, and you just feel hopeless. And on top of that, you're living in a country that's basically the whole reason your entire country is at war. I had a hard time accepting the fact that I'm working and my tax money is funding this war and the genocide in Gaza. So that really got to me, and I, just like everyone else that was living abroad, I guess we all lived through it, and we got very depressed. Something until today we haven't processed.
And your home, just like others, and your land here got hit in the war. Tell us about what happened in your fields here.
So there's a few houses, if you look. Our neighbor's house over there got hit pretty badly. There's a few houses down there that also got hit. Thankfully, our house didn't get damaged that much. We just had all our windows shattered. However, our backyard entirely burned. So there was a big fire from the missiles passing by. I mean, thankfully they caught it before it got to the house, but there was like a lot of damage in our fields in the back of the house, and we had like a nice setting there, so we lost that, but it's nothing compared to what other people lost.
And you studied media and journalism.
Yes.
And you obviously are watching American television and American news. And what is your impression about the reality that you see here in this country and that news coverage in the West?
It's very well known that American media is propaganda. It's not a secret. It's a huge fact. I feel like the American people are finally realizing that. Maybe a little bit too slowly. They should be faster to realize that. Me being Lebanese and being able to return to Lebanon after the war and seeing it firsthand on the destruction and the ceasefire violations, I realized that the West and the US will always paint the picture of the Middle East as obviously the bad guys. They really don't like the image of resistance. They make resistance look like it's terrorism. They don't want people to fight back, and they make the innocent people, just like the Israeli media does to the Palestinians, look like, as I mentioned, as terrorists.
So you're either a helpless victim or you're a terrorist. If you resist, they don't want us anything either than this victim or a terrorist.
Yeah, you could say that. Recently, what I've noticed, I don't even think they're painting us as victims anymore. I think they're all grouping us into one, under one umbrella, that the entire region is this way.
We're going down to your orchards, your farm, and there was a video that circulated last week of you confronting the
You want me
UNIFIL.
to pick up the bombs for you, or
But
what do
you
you
guys
want
are
me to do?
peacemakers, no? What is your
Can you tell us about number one, what happened here?
Sure. So basically, this was about 8 a.m. in the morning. We got a phone call from my uncle who works the fields. All the way in the back, we have our own land where we grow tobacco. And he spotted the UN jeeps, and there was about 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken, because that's what I counted. He told us immediately to go confront them because this is private property, and they did not have the Lebanese Army with them. So my mother and I split ways. I came down here, and my mom went to the other side so we could stop them, depending on which way they go. So she got to them before me, all the way inside the mountains, and I waited for her up here, and this is where the confrontation happened between me and the UN member. So when all 6 of them got here, there was about maybe 6 men that were with me as well from my village. And they told me to let them know that we will not let them pass until the US Army arrives.
You mean the Lebanese Army?
I'm so sorry.
The US Army is
US
useless
Army is
for
useless
us.
for sure. My apologies. I'm still thinking about it. They do. They act like it. They act like it. So yes, the men from my village told me to let the UN know that they cannot pass unless the Lebanese Army arrives. You have to wait for the Lebanese Army. You're trespassing. Now you have to wait for the law. No, we're not moving. You guys are done. That's it. You're trespassing. This is private property. So the Lebanese Army is coming. You have to wait. So I was screaming to them from up here. They were a little bit down. Took me about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And then I decided, all right, let me go down to him. Let me go down and talk to him face to face. I got down, and this is where you see the video of me confronting him. Before that, I was asking him, do you have permission to be here? Because this is private property. Do you have permission? I need permission. You need a permission form.
Sorry,
Do you have permission, sir?
The permission paper?
And he lets me know, yes, I do have permission. He was very annoyed with me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's annoying when you're the one trespassing property and I'm the one asking if you have permission to be on our property.
Because you're like a smarty pants, you know the law, you know?
Exactly.
It's...
So he, one of his colleagues brought me a paper that had the resolution 1701. And I told him, okay, but listen, I understand this resolution and this does not give you the rights to be here. You violated 3 times, 3 different violations in this resolution, and it doesn't work like that. So now you have to face the consequences and wait for the Lebanese Army to come, and then we'll take you from there. They didn't like that at all. And that's when you see the video that went viral where I tell him, where he tells me I'm not the Security Council. Apparently,
You are not the UN Security Council.
it doesn't matter.
I'm
like, okay, well, if you're gonna force us to follow the resolution, the other side should also follow the resolution. Why is it only just on us? And they stood there for about maybe an hour while I was just going back and forth with him, explaining over and over again, this is private property. And it still wouldn't click in his head that it's not okay for them to be here. Like in his head, he was very convinced that we're just doing our jobs and this is legal.
Well, this is what happens when somebody violates laws or ethics and nobody stands in their way. After a while, they think this is the norm. And they believe, they get really angry when somebody points that it's not the norm. And obviously the UNIFIL has acts like, silent lambs when the Zionists are violating the sovereignty of Lebanon and or targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure. And then they're like a cackle of hyenas whenever they're confronted with the civilians in Lebanon. Tell us, there was another story of another violation, but we'll walk down a little bit to in your beautiful land. I think these olive groves are so beautiful.
I'd like to mention that as the UN was trying to leave, there's a part of the land where they destroyed the olive trees and other bushes because they were trying to find their way out.
Can we go see that, or is it too far?
It's too far.
Too far,
yes.
okay.
And I also, so our land is here. I didn't, honestly. I didn't make it down there.
Okay.
I wasn't able to. And by the time my mom made it down there, I mean, she wasn't thinking about recording.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's also mixed land. So we have land, other people have land. I don't want to trespass on someone else's land. You know what? I don't want to be like a hypocrite.
Why don't you be like the UN,
No, I don't like violating.
Pretend you're a peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Very peaceful.
So there was another violation here by the UNIFIL right after. It seems like they were itching for a fight.
Definitely, yes.
So tell us about it.
The Lebanese Army finally showed up. They did their investigation. They escorted them out of our land and took them into the village where I guess they sat down with the municipality, and I guess they wrote down everything that they needed to and allowed them to leave. On their way out on the main road, there is you can say multiple buildings where people live. It's like a small community where they also tried to trespass and go through that road.
Block,
yes, it's basically a residential block. It's like a community. It's not closed gated, but it's a community. It's like multiple houses that all look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they tried to go up into that private property again, and that's when they were confronted by other villagers from Aytit. And according to the video and witnesses, they threw tear gas on the civilians, on my people from my village.
Yeah.
And that's when we fought back and we threw rocks at them. But they twisted it and said that we attacked them first. But besides the fact that they went into the private property again after this entire ordeal.
And there's now a Lebanese civilian that the UN wants to arrest for that fight. And it just shows how much of a weak force they are, that they would go after civilians. So Noura,
Yes.
one last thing before we leave your beautiful land and leave you to your family. You're inshallah gonna continue this work in media, and you have moved to here because of the problems that you saw in the media there.
Yes.
What's your hopes for this, future?
Something I say all the time: resist until you no longer have to resist, and don't ever make you feel like you're in the wrong. Every violation, stand up for it, and don't be afraid to speak up. They can't arrest every civilian that stands up to the UN. It's 1 million of us versus a couple of them. So every time you see the UN in your village, follow them, go after them, ask them for permission, ask them if they have, if the owner of the land gave them permission to be here. Know your rights, read the resolution.
Well, amazing, Noura. The perseverance of the people in Lebanon, in Palestine, that is keeping us still alive as a nation under these conditions. Thank you so much, Noura, for allowing us this time. Inshallah, you and your family will be safe and see better days.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
That was a great interview with Noura Daqa.
I was impressed, actually. Great people.
And there was something about the videos that went viral, not only of her video, but the other civilians in the
There were
compound.
other videos that went viral, and the media outlets that posted them, we can name those media outlets, they claimed that they are from the village of Aytit and from the incident. But actually, they were edited. They added something to these videos in order to be more
Sensational,
to frame it to the to fit what they were trying to show, that Hezbollah is sending people to do these protests, to protest the UNIFIL.
So that was Al-Arabiya television, which is owned by the Saudis, and should
I
be
guess
called
the
Al-Abriya.
MTV also
And
posted
MTV.
it, I think.
Yes.
And basically they tried to include one sound, one audio from one other video that happened a different time and different place. They included it in the same video where someone is telling the UNIFILs that if you don't like Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, you cannot be here. It's from a different video.
يلا اللي ضد السيد حسن من هون يلا يلا اللي ضد نصر الله من هون يلا يلا اللي ضد نصر الله من هون يلا.
Like, if anyone who hates Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah must not show up here in South Lebanon. They included it in the same video in order to make it look like these guys, who are the people of that residential block our friend Noura talked about. They wanted to frame it like they were sent by Hezbollah to attack the UNIFIL, and this is what happened. The UNIFIL attacked them, and the UNIFIL was violating their their property. But it's framed that no, this is not a violation, and they use the term now. The media that opposes Hezbollah, they like to show that their audience that if this person is Hezbollah, this means that he's dehumanized.
Yeah, and he deserves whatever happens to them.
And this is why exactly they put this, this audio, and it's very
cunning, and it's very actually illegal. It's defamation, it's bias,
misinformation to the maximum. They are manipulating the story in order to fit their political views, even if it was not related to it by anything.
So Al-Arabiya, which should be called Al-Abriya, which means the Hebrew instead of the Arab. And MTV, again, Zionist TV station here in
I-24
Lebanon.
in Lebanon.
I-24. And listen, this is very important that our viewers understand why it's necessary for us to produce this content from Free Palestine TV, so we can counter this propaganda machine owned by the Gulf vassals, their Zionist masters, and their American White House rulers. Well, this was a very interesting day for us. I ask you all to one more time press the subscribe button on whatever social media you're watching this on. and to go to our website freepalestine.video to donate so we can continue bringing you this content. And until we meet you next time, we bid you all a free Palestine.